Welcome back, everybody. So today's the third lesson. You just started with a quiz, and this is the result. And we go through each questions. As you can see, the first one, which one is a valid JavaScript comment? I should have rephrased it somehow, which are, because we have two answers here. Some of you go for this and some of you go for this, maybe because of the way the question has been drafted. But actually the answer should be both. Mm, yeah, both this and this. This is a single line comment and this is a multi-line comment for JavaScript. Yeah?
I think we can't see what you're pointing at.
You don't see?
I can't see at least.
No,
I can only
I
hear.
can see.
You can see or you can't?
I can't.
Okay, then I think it's by, maybe it's like that, maybe, I don't know.
If you could like say
I,
all the right answers.
yes, I can
going
use,
through.
yeah, I can, so I can read the right answers, okay?
Yep.
So the answer for question 1R, the first one, I am a single comment, is right. The one which is red or kind of brown, and the last one, this is a multi-line comment which starts with a slash and asterisk and closed by asterisk with slash. Those are correct, both. Only two of them. And question number 2, which are not data types? Now it's the data type, undefined it's a data type, string a data type, object a data type, but for some reason by mistake we have two string about it, so it's the same. Array is not a data type, okay? It's just another data structure. The type for array is actually a kind of object, and it's not under the category of a data type. Number is a data type. Boolean is also a data type. So which one is not a data type? Actually, array. I can go to the question number 3. Which one is an assignment operator? Yes, the equal sign is an assignment operator, okay? This is equivalent, and this one, 2 equal sign, that means equivalent. 3 equal signs exactly equal in any form and shape, in this time actually in values and data type. Now let's move on to question number 4. What is the result of a comparison operator? You tell me, guys, what's the result of a comparison operator?
Can be true or false.
True or false, right?
Yeah.
True or false?
Boolean.
So that means Boolean.
Yeah.
If you say true, it will be false also. So actually Boolean comprises both true and false, so you should go for a Boolean. Which one is false? This is an assignment operator. This here checks only value. This checks both value and data type. And these are equal. Actually, this is the right answer. 4 is not exactly equal with string 4. Yeah. So the last one is the answer with the 4 with these 3 equal signs. So you guys told me that you don't see my pointer. That's why. Which built-in function do you use to check types of data? And most of you answered the last one, type of, and that is good. Do you have any question before we move on to today's lesson?
Does it matter if it's also type of with a capital O?
Yes, because everything you use in programming most of the time, almost all programming languages are case sensitive. It means different when you write it with a lowercase and uppercase. Any question, guys? No?
No.
Then let's move on. So today we will cover quite a lot of topics, and I will start by refreshing everything what you have started. Yeah, great. So stop the sharing of this, and I may minimize this. Do you see my screen here? Yeah.
GitHub.
GitHub.
Right, yeah.
Oh yeah, great. So you see, so let's go to VS Code. Oh, I think there's something, the Python group or something still opened. Documents are here. Let's see if we can remove this and great. So let's go to our folder. It should be this one, right? Yeah. Great. So this is the folder we are going to use until the end, most probably. So let's see what we have covered last time. I think this is what we plan to do this week, right? Do you remember the last statement?
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Okay, great. So logical operators, conditionals, arrays, and functions. And sometimes if I just forget to give you topics. Great. Logical operator and conditional array. So let's imagine that you don't know any JavaScript. So let's start from all over again from here, from the Google Chrome browser. As you can see, so lovely to look at. You can open the console by just clicking and inspect. And then you may have something like this. You drag it to the top and then console, because you love this playground to write some JavaScript code. Don't you like it when you see just this cursor blinking, waiting for you to write some code? Then since this is a console, you use the console object to write something. Console is a small case console.log. And then this is how you write. So actually this console is an object and it has this method log to log something, and we can pass some argument there. Hello world. And you just have to close it with 2 quotation mark. So the quotation mark could be single or double. First, let's see with 1. And maybe we can also console.log with a double hello world again with a double quote. Yeah. So anything we put under quotation, we call it a string. We are actually forming a string. What is a string by itself? Actually, it's a text. Yeah. We don't just drop a text. Instead, we have to put them under quotation mark. And now, well, let's see also maybe another way. Even we can put it a backtick, hello world. Sorry, backtick. So to make a string, as you can see, you can use a single quote, a double quote, or a backtick. So this console.log just allows you to print something. Don't go too deep to understand how this console.log works. No, that's not how it works now. Just for the time being, this is just a method or a function which allows you to print something. It could be a string or a number, console.log, for instance, some number, okay? This one, or maybe console on .log, and maybe we can print something after we add them 1 plus 2. Yeah, so since we are on the console itself, even we don't have to use the console.log hello. Yeah, it prints actually 1 plus 2, 2 minus 1, 2 times 3, 3 divided by 2. So that means if you are on the console, even you don't have to use console.log to print out something here. But if you are on VS Code, you must use console.log to get something printed out here. Yeah. So this is what is inside the console here. Actually, there's the so-called V8 engine. That engine read our human readable code. I mean, read or change or translate it to a machine code. And then after it gets interpreted, you get the result here. Yeah, that is why also we managed to do the same thing here on the node. After that, you just get something like this. And this is just, I just love JavaScript because even it runs on the server or something whatsoever. Yeah, just let's show our love and just it's enough, as you can see. So you can, of course, you can use the console.log or you can just use without any hello. So there's this, the repeal, the node repeal, what you see here, this background, and this use the same V8 engine. We call it Chrome V8 engine that allows to translate or change the code we write, the human readable code to machine code. Both they use the same engine, sorry, not this one. So Node is actually a programming language we can use under, in server. So we run some server code. Maybe if we start some course, maybe we can launch some Node course in Omni at some point and develop some full stack application which has front end and back end. So, but it's, I think, process.exit. Yeah, exit. I don't need that. Then to write a code, you should have a VS Code, and we have it. And everybody knows how to use by now, how to use VS Code. It's very important, very beautiful, free. You don't pay for it. I just love to see VS Code. Even I miss it, don't you? I hope you, yeah, it has different theme, different color. You can change the color of this. And you can install different extensions. Yes, something related with JavaScript. Just try to get different. And for instance, you click this one and see how many times it was downloaded. As you can see, about 400,000. This is related to TypeScript, so we don't need that. But I think just to show you here that there are lots of a VS Code extension that allows you to be more productive. Yeah. Okay, great. So now let's start from here, logical operators. But before that, last week we learned about these different operators like assignment operators, and everybody now knows this. Yeah, arithmetic operators, you know this all, right? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, the modulus, that's the remainder, and the exponential, you know that. That's, and the comparison operator, you learn that also. You know the comparison greater than, oh no, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to this, and maybe this, not, or this. Yeah. So we have greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, equivalent, exactly the same in values and data types, and it is not exactly the same. It is not equivalent. Okay, so first I think you should know what equivalency means, right? Equivalent means something is similar or somehow the same, not exactly the same. At least that's my understanding. Okay, so are you okay with this already, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, great. Now let's start the logical operators. Yeah, and let's create a file. I can create a file and I call it logical operators.js. We have one quiz. What is the result of a comparison operator? If you remember, what's the result of a comparison? We compare things. After we compare, we get some result, and that will be true all the time. Yes. Is Finland greater than Estonia? Yes, in size or in some way. Or if 2021 better than 2020, yeah, you just have some result. Of course, it could be some opinion which may not end with some short answer, but we tend to have a short answer that is yes or no, and in another that means true or false. Okay, so let's come to the logical operators. The logical operators usually are and, or. I think that's more of Python way. So actually this, or this, or this. This means and, the ampersand, and we call it and. And this is or, and this is a negation. So I have to run this file. As you can see, I have to click on here and then live. Go to the live, and it's opened here. So I have to show you in one. Yes, stick in here. Great. So console.log, we are learning operators, just to see, and then I just click on here, inspect, and then console. So I didn't see that, so I want to connect it here somewhere. Script. Oh, why not? So script source. Not params, logical operators.js. Now we are learning logical operators, so I can write. Then let's console.log. 2 is greater than 1. Is it true or false, guys?
True.
Yeah, true. How about if I say 4 is less than 5? Is it true or false?
True.
True, but now the thing is, let's make a compound statement. Let's connect these two together using this. As you can see, we got true because both statements are true.
True.
Okay, now let's move on to maybe just we can change a bit this one, and let's just make one of the statement false. 2 is actually less than 1. That means it's false. False and true, it should be false. And if we make both false, for instance, if I say 2 is less than 1, which is false, and 4 is greater than 5, which is false, false and false, false. Yeah, this is actually the way we handle things. This is very important because we may check different conditions and we may decide. Yeah. For instance, if I have to say, I will teach if Kirsi and Baptiste come to the class. If one of them show up, that means we will not have class. Of course, that's a strange teacher, right? Anyway, but it's like kind of, so we check things. Imagine that the students are the data type, I mean, the list of datas, and we go through the list and then check. It could be countries, it could be names, it could be something. So you just check 2 things. And another way we can also change this to a OR operator. So 2 is greater than 1, right? That's true. 4 is less than 5, that's true. And we can use the OR operator. It's true. And this one actually, if I also change this one, as you can see now, 2 is greater than 1, true. 4 greater than 5, false. Now I have 1 true and 1 false, but the result is true. For a true operator, to get false, both operands should be false. Now, for instance, if I change this to is less than 1, this is false, now I get false. Yeah, so let's draw a conclusion. For AND operator, to get true, both operands, how do I write? Operands should be true. Operand means, in this case, this side and this side. If we see only this, as in expression, this is one operand, this another operand. But in this case, I think I prefer the 2 statements or expressions statements should be true. Should be true. In this one, to get true, just only one statement should be true. Yeah, for instance, if I say, if Kirsi or Baptiste show up to this Zoom lesson, I will teach. So if one of them show up, I teach. Or if I say, if 10 or 9 people show up, I will teach. If it's 10, it's okay. We can also say greater. We can. So now let's move on to negation. Negation is so easy because, for instance, if I have Abel is a student. Yeah. So if that is to make this, Abel is not a student. That's a negation. We just add negation. We change this statement from a positive to a negative statement. So it's the same. So console.log 2 is greater than 1. Is it true or false?
True.
It's true.
Yes, true. Actually, we can negate this statement. Sometimes you may just use somehow bracket. Yeah, so because after we have the operation, I have seen on Telegram when you guys talk about precedence of operators. So precedence means, do you remember guys, this is the BODMAS in mathematics? So that applies here also in programming. So bracket of division, multiplication, and subtraction. Everything, the operation inside the parentheses has to be calculated first. And then the division, multiplication, division and multiplication do have the same hierarchy. And then next, addition and subtraction. Addition and subtraction also do have. What do I mean by that? Console.log 2, maybe 2 minus 1 times 5. Don't do any kind of calculation. Maybe I think I have to change this to 3. What's the result of this value? It's already here, sorry. Oh no. That's the problem of using live server. It calculates everything right away. So actually how it works, so this is the high precedence. So we have to subtract this, yeah, inside. So what's 3 minus 1? 2. 2 times 5, 10. 10 plus 3, 13, as you can see. So the mathematics rule you know applies here. Okay, so yeah, so how about if we say console.log false, and we can negate this actually like this. So we can flip this and change it to true. And even you can say a double, you can put double negation, as you can see. Okay, so is it clear? If it is clear, let's move on to another topic.
Yes, clear.
Yep.
Okay, so logical operators are so important. Comparison operators are so important. So if you have a very good understanding of the logical operators and the comparison operators, then let's move on to this topic, that's conditionals. Yes. I usually tell to my students that everybody is a programmer. You are a programmer. You've been programming. For instance, you showed up to this lesson when it was 5:30 because you programmed, you programmed yourself to show up here. So you made a conclusion. You make a decision. Yeah. So what was that decision actually? Let's write a pseudo code, we call it pseudo code. Okay, attend JS class. Okay, that's the task actually, attending yeah, that's what you do right now, attending JavaScript lesson. Okay, when? So now we have the time actually starting from this. So no matter what, at 5:30, you should be here. So actually you made, based on that, you attended the lesson. So I don't know what kind of schedule you have, either you used alarm clock or whatever, but you are here. So for me, you are a programmer. You wrote at least one condition. So actually, if the time is 30, I should be in JS class. As you can see now, if what? If this time, if this condition met or satisfied, I should be in the class. If not, we don't have any condition here. But if we want to know also, if not else, you could be anywhere, either watching a movie or meeting friends or doing other activities. Some movie after long jazz lesson. Yeah. So this is everybody's activity, right? So this is a pseudocode, but now let's write proper code based on this concept. Let's destroy this, or we can leave it there. So now let's create another file, and I call it conditionals. .js. Okay, so no, that's divided conditionals. Life is full of conditions, guys. Yeah, so we decide every day. So let's say let a is equal to 5. What do I mean by this now? Do you know, guys, declaring a variable? Who doesn't know declaring a variable? I think you should know. Yeah. What's the value of a here, guys?
5. No.
5. That means I am asking a to store 5, and whenever you call 5 or access a, you get a value of 5. That means what's the data type we stored here? Number. Right. Yes. Now the point is actually we're about to make some kind of if condition. We are about to write. Let us write a JS script that check if a number is positive, negative, or 0. So if it's an integer. Okay, that's great. So actually, if a is greater than 0, by the way, what is the value here? What
is a 5, so it's greater than 0. It's true.
So yeah, so you got a Boolean right here.
Yes.
So all the time, the result of this condition is going to be a Boolean. So it's a comparison, something compared, and the value will be here all the time is a comparison. Even we can take this out. Let value, we compare it and change to value here. Or maybe it's condition. And we just call here condition. So first we compared it, and the value here is actually, if you check, for instance, let's destroy this. Print. Oh, today what's happening? Console.log. Condition. Yeah, as you can see, a is greater than y.
You didn't link to the index.zm.
Yeah, I didn't link yet, so it's also good to comment this out, and we will not be distracted by the codes, yeah, other codes. Actually, this is not so because I'm in the HTML. I have to comment it out, and let's do script src, and what is that? Conditionals.js. What is this? Yeah, as you can see, it's true. The value we got is true. But now let's use this condition to make a decision. If condition Yeah, so if this is true, this part of the code, we call this, if you write some block, something with a curly bracket, we call this block code. Yeah, this is the block code area. This is the block code area. Now you see the function of the purpose of a comment, I am using it to make my lesson so easy, because I use it to explain, as you can see. So you also leave comments like this to make your code easy to be read. Okay, so this is the block code area. This area, I will be executed if the condition is true. This part of the block code will be executed if the condition is true. Yeah, so then console.log, I am positive. Have you seen? I am positive because this condition is true. Let's make it false. To make this false, I can say, for instance, if I change this to 0, nothing is happening. That is, nothing is coming out from this. How about if I make it -5 even? Yeah, because this is not true. This runs, this part of the code runs if this condition is true. So let me change this to some positive number, 3. Yeah, definitely A, which is 3. 3 is greater than 0, and the 0, that is true. The true is stored here, and we are using the condition, the true value here. Now, because just if condition is so boring because it runs once, but at least let's check if else, plan B, it's a kind of a plan B. If the console.log not a positive number. Now let's change this to -3, for instance. Not a positive number. Okay, let's change to 0. Not a positive number. Yeah, but it doesn't say anything, right? Okay, now even we can go additional else if condition is equal to, or maybe just A is equal to 0, and then we can say console.log, the number is 0. As you can see, the number is 0. So now you understand the purpose of writing this, so we don't have to write it, so we can just compare exactly here. If A is greater than 0, so anything greater than 0 is actually a positive number, right? Yes, let's make this a positive. If then another condition, if A is equal to 0, the number is 0. Yeah, but how about if I change this to -3? Not a positive number, but I should say, I need this to be, I need it to say a negative number. So we can add additional else. Else if A is less than 0, then we can say console.log, it is a negative number. Yeah, as you can see now, not a positive number. Instead of saying that unknown, the else is just we check everything, then we run out of options, then we say unknown. Okay, let's check it step by step. 5, it's a positive number. Which one? This line of code. How about -5 or -3? It's a negative number. Okay, great. Then that means this. How about 0? The number is 0. How about if I just write something this? Unknown. As you can see now, our function is working. I can just put some value there. Okay, I have to give you some time to think. Did you get it?
Yes, it worked.
Yes.
Yeah, so you managed to understand if. So if you have just one condition, you can just make a singleton like this, which is just, oh, this by itself has also lots of use cases. But when we have lots of condition, we may think, I may show you something, 30 days of React. What's happening? Dummy data. If you see here, it's actually a dummy data generator. So it says generate hexacolor. Okay, let me just 5. Yeah, it generates for me. Yeah, so the condition is actually under the hood. I told it to when one of the if cases is actually hexa. And then maybe I want it to be RGB color. As you can see, it's RGB color now. Colors. Okay, maybe random ID. Okay, random ID. And then maybe random IP or whatsoever prime numbers. Or maybe array of person object 5. Or maybe whatsoever. By the way, it uses if condition under the hood. Maybe a random countries object. Of course, there's lots of things going on there, but it uses what is this called? Conditionals, and the condition is if and other conditions. And after the break, we will learn more on if else and then switch and the ternary. Let's have a 10 minutes break and then we will get back to the lesson. See you soon. Welcome back. Guys, are you around? Just you can type one for me, then I know that you're around and then we can move on. So how was the first session? Did you manage to follow and understand what we've covered? Okay, I hope so. Then we don't need this. Let's close that. And we wrote one if condition there. Let's do more conditions. Okay. So how about if we just check, is rainy today? Was it? Let's imagine it's not rainy, but it's a kind of gloomy day. I can just say true. If, do you see my screen, guys, in the recording? I have to be sure that I record.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. If is rainy, by the way, before I write this. Yeah, do you understand what this means? Is rainy, and I am just now thinking today, I'm thinking more in Python than JavaScript. For some reason, it's not common. So late is rainy is equal to true. That means we have a Boolean and the variable is rainy or is raining. And the value is actually true. Let's imagine it's raining. if is raining, most of the time it's even better to use the 3 sign operator to be safe, but you can also just write true like this, because at least it checks. And then, as I told you, if this condition is true, this part of the code will be executed. So let's write console.log. Yes, it is raining, and we should have some umbrella, right? So as you can, yes, it's raining. But how about if it's not raining? If it's not raining and if I change this false, what will be the result?
Undefined in this case? No, well, if you wrote it, that's false.
Yeah, if I change it to false, what will be the result?
Nothing, because now console log happens.
Yes, nothing. Let's change this to false and nothing. Yes, nothing. But you know, the problem of just using if, you can use if condition alone. There are cases you check once, but for this case, we need at least, if not, for instance, if it's not raining, what are we going to do? Else console.log, we just go out really, no rain, maybe no rain. Yeah, go out freely, no rain. But actually, weather condition is not only about raining or shining. It's more than that. It could be gloomy. It could be just cloudy, foggy, lots of things, right? Lots of conditions. So instead of is raining, actually, how about if I change this to weather and change this to rainy? Yeah, so then actually I can compare it here, the weather, and then check, is it rainy? Yeah, it is the positives, just whatever. We can just comment this out. We don't like to be distracted by other outputs, okay? Outputs which are coming from other scripts. Yes, it's raining. Okay. How about if I change this to sunny? Go out freely, no rain. Okay, that's okay. But I think it's also good to add else if here. Else if weather is equal to sunny. What's going to be? Console, just, we can say, it is such a shiny day. Just go out freely. Yeah, so now instead of this, it's actually this block of code has been executed. It's such a shiny what day. Just go out freely. We can, how many conditions can we add, guys? We can add as many conditions we want or we have. How about it's foggy or just some kind of gloomy? I don't know. So you can call it console.log. It's just a foggy, gloomy, cloudy day. Then if you say here foggy, just foggy, gloomy, and cloudy day. So at least we have now rainy, shiny, foggy. Other cases, you know, not else, else. If other conditions you want me to include here, maybe?
Snowing.
Snowy. I don't know when it's snowy what you do. Snowy and so if there is snow, I think the weather might be also cold. Might be too cold. Check out your jacket word, I mean closings. Okay, so now let's check with this what is this snowy, might be too cold. Yeah, so at least we have 4 were strict conditions, but now we can say this: no one knows about today's weather condition. So let's just do something. No one knows about today's weather condition. Yes. Now, how about we make our function, I mean, a bit, our code a bit smarter. Instead of just we write, how about if we get it from user? We have this prompt, enter weather. As you can see, the prompt is actually a function, a built-in function that allows you to write such a kind of feedback. Even you can add additional placeholder. I think the placeholder, it's going to be enter some text here. I have to execute this and then it will come back again. Have you seen the text here? Even you can, the first is actually comes here and the second text you write comes here, but you don't have to. Now let's write here foggy, for instance. It's just foggy, gloomy, and cloudy day. So we got this from the user and we stored it, and what we stored has been checked either of the conditions, and the conditions the condition has to be checked from top to bottom. If this line of code gets satisfied, this will be this will run and it doesn't go to the bottom. Yes. So we should be sure that we put it in some kind of orders because it moves from top to bottom. If you have 2 possible conditions, it doesn't go to the second one. Now let's try with sunny. How about if we try it like this? What do I get?
No one knows about the weather.
Yes. No one knows about today's weather. So we have to fix, because programmers, they say that users are so stupid. They may try it in different way, okay? So you have to fix that. That's so easy, actually, if we just do 2 lowercase. As you can see, we are getting the value, and then we are just changing it to lowercase. So whatever we write here, actually in this case, it doesn't run. So I have to write again now. Sunny. So now if you see, it's such a shiny day, just go out freely. It is the same kind of implementation like this one, guys. So if this is clear, we can move on. What do you think, guys?
Yep.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah, it's okay.
Let's just comment this out. Actually, now I want to show you switch case. A switch case is actually we transfer this condition to a switch case. Okay, what's a switch case? The code is actually, it has switch, a reserved word, and it takes the condition here. The condition will come here, and it has a kind of a block, and then it has cases. Case 1, case 2, something like that. And we write the block code here. Some block code goes here. Some code goes here. And then some code again goes here. And then it has a default. The default is similar to the else, the last condition. So it's an alternative way of writing the same thing. Don't be like puzzled. Why I need, if I have this, yes, it's somehow the same, but sometimes this might be more elegant than this one when you have lots of cases, and sometimes this might be much better than this. So you need both. So
we need a break.
Yes.
In case, okay.
Yes. You need either break or return. Most of the time, if you are not using it in a function, you use a break. Yes. So we will include the break with this. Okay. So let's change this to this. So what are we going to put here? Whether. Okay. So let's change condition, this one, to case. So if the case is rainy, and if the and we have to have this, do something. What do? I do this and break. And then now you tell me how I convert the second condition. The second condition is this one. Tell me. Yeah, just sunny, I think sunny. And here, instead of that, I just copy this code, right? And put it here. And then again, break. Now break. And you tell me case, what is it for foggy something? Yeah, foggy or cloudy. So you just get the code here from the foggy line block. And then again, break. All the time you break. And again, what's the last? Snowy. Case, snowy. And then break. Now we reach to the default. Guys, you may see lots of tutorials somewhere using semicolons. I stopped using semicolons in 2018. I'm done with it. No need. Okay, thank you. And so don't be, I would also suggest you stop using semicolon. It's okay. Now JavaScript knows without a semicolon. That means like this you can add, it's okay, but we don't need that anymore. And even I don't have to explain why we need that. It's just no need to. Now here we put the last code. What was this? This one here as a default. In the default, actually, since it runs at the end, even you don't have to have the break. So those two do the same thing. Let's see if it does the same thing, but I need this without being commented out. I need it to be like this. Let's see. Okay, let's run. Snowy. Might be too cold, yeah. This part of the code is now still running. So if I run it, we get the same thing, guys. How is it? It's just another way of doing the same thing. But this might be much better than the other. For instance, okay, I will show you one problem to solve. Okay, conditionals, and let's go all the way down to exercise. This one, write a program which tells the number of days in a month. This is easy if you use switch instead of if. Okay, why, for instance, January, September, and some of the days do have 31 days. Some of the month, they do have 31 days, and you can have, you don't have to have break. Instead, you can just say case January, case September, case I think December too. I don't know. So all those do have similar properties. If something has, so we can check all the cases at once. So the code will goes here. The code goes here. But if I use if, I have to say and for this or this or this, actually not and for this one. So I may recommend you to use this to solve this question, specific question. Please try it by yourself after the end of this lesson. Write a program which tells the number of days in a month. Now consider a leap year. Yeah, there might be a way to calculate leap year, so you can get on Google. And there's also, yes, now this one would be good using else, if else this. So it's a script that calculates grade for students. If a student score this, like from 80 to 100 point, then it's A, 70 to 89, this. So in this case, when you write, the order should be from top to bottom because your function checks from top to bottom. So remember the order. Order matters. Yeah, now let's see ternary operators. What's ternary? Now in React, it's becoming so popular. So ternary operators are actually very good. Okay, what we do actually in ternary operator, condition, and then we do this, and then something, some value, and then something here, okay, for instance, true, it's true, then console.log, I am true, console.log, I am false. I will show you this, and then we have to stop this thing because it's distracting. I will show you why is this running, because I didn't comment at the top. Yes, great. So this is an alternative way to write if else. Okay, condition, the block, the if block, the else block. If this is true, run next to the quotation, the question mark. If not, run next to the colon. As you can see, I am true. Let me change this condition to false. I am false, the false block run. Now let's change this to maybe let b is equal to 10. And if we say that, if b is greater than 0, I am positive, or I am negative. So I'm positive because this value is true. B is definitely greater than 0 and it's positive. But If I change this to 0, for instance, I am negative, but it's not negative actually. The problem of ternary, you can you use only two conditions, either this or this, as you can see. So this is ternary operator. Sometimes you may also use it like this. For instance, let a value, if something you check somewhere, if for instance, let first name and length of first name dot length greater than 5, I can say long name, else short name. What do you think the value here? The value, what do you get if I print out console.log? A value, if I print this, what's the value of value? Sorry. What's the value which is stored in this?
The length of the first name.
Yeah, but as you can see,
Booleans is a true.
yeah, but look, guys, I can say long. For instance, this actually this application or this script is going to classify people's name based on the length, and it says either short name or long name. Okay.
Long, yeah.
So the value is going to be long if I print console. Print console.log value long. I was using too much Python yesterday. That's why I'm thinking in Python. So long. So as you can see, long. Maybe if I use here Job is a short name. As you can see, the value is now short. So that means I use ternary operator. First, I checked if something is actually based on what I want, and then stored it here. So one use case of ternary. Guys, now you are done with conditionals. But what I would like to show you, maybe I can turn this on, and by removing, we can also use some kind of AND operator, AND here, like this. Yeah, and for instance, and something just like, for instance, true, because this will give me the same result since it's true. But if you have something to compare, you can also add inside here, inside here, inside here with and or using or operator. Yes. Right, now let's move on to other topic. What's next based on this? Yes, the beautiful arrays. Oh yeah. So guys, shall we move on, or do you have any question? Is it clear?
Move on.
Yes, great. So now we're about to start arrays. As you can see, arrays are so beautiful. Have you been in a shop? Yes, yep. Everybody has been in the shop. So whenever you go to the shop, you just say, okay, first you may say, late, take the shopping cart. You may call the name of the cart. You may pull or hold its shopping cart. And what are you going to put there? Maybe milk, or maybe meat, or maybe just potato. Potato and tomato, they sound the same, or it rhymes, right? Or sugar, or honey, or maybe some coffee and tea. And now your tea, and now it's enough for you, right? Yes, now let's console.log see our shopping cart. Oh yes, lovely shopping cart, and it has milk, meat, potato, tomato, sugar, honey, coffee, and tea. And we can check the links also by just shopping cart links. As you can see, you have 8 items by using just length from this. And yeah, as I told you, you don't write program on here, but let's just take our shopping cart to our VS Code. Yes, we don't need it here. Let's just create an arrays file, arrays.js, and I just brought it here. For the time being, maybe even this might not be. I prefer starting from numbers. Everybody love numbers 1, 2, 3. We have 3 items here. Yeah. And I have to connect with the file. Do you know where this the index? You have to connect that. Why? Okay, I want this. I want to take it to the commented section in script, and then .arrays.js. Yeah, now it's connected. So I go to the arrays file and work on console.log numbers. Why nothing happened? Yeah. Oh, I have 3 numbers. So in JavaScript or in arrays, this is not anymore one data. As you can see, we have 3 items, 1, 2, 3. And actually in arrays, it's not only numbers. You can store any data type. Astabena, he's a string. Finland, it's a string too. And maybe we can say true. And we can even store 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, another array. Or we can store anything object. The name is equal to again Asabena. So as you can see, this array actually allow us to store any kind of data type. But for a simplification, let's first understand the simple thing, right? Numbers in this numbers array, we have only 3 numbers. Item 1, item 2, and item 3. So actually, it has some index. So the way they are stored, they have an index. This is at 0, 0 index. Maybe I can show you. At 0 index, at 1, and 2. So to access 1, I have to access it through this index. Yeah. So usually the counting starts from 0 in programming. The counting starts from 0. So yeah, even I don't like usually writing nums. I prefer writing nums for some reason because it's too long for me. Then if I want to access 1, I say console.log nums, and I use this square bracket and access it by the index. What was the index of this one I told you just a few minutes ago?
0.
0. Yes. Oh, that's great. Then I can console.log nums. How can I access number 2?
Index 1.
Yes, index 1. Console.log. How can I access now, guys from the Python group, don't get confused. How can I access this one?
Index 2.
Index 2, yes. So I don't tell the Python trick, but the Python doesn't work here. Okay, but now I want you to know the way you can get the last value, the last item, But imagine if the length of your array is 1000, or maybe if you don't know, how do you get the last item? Tell me, guys.
Do we use a -1?
Yes. Yeah. As you can see, what's the length of this array? Yeah, you just count 1, 2, 3. There are 3, right? As you can see, it's 3. And what is the index of the last item? As you can see, it's 2. That means 1 minus the index or length minus the index of the array. So we can say let last index is equal to, actually, we can derive some kind of formula. Yeah, minus 1. Do you agree with this, guys? Let me just show you. What do you think? Do you agree with this? If this, for instance, 0, 1, 2, the length is 3, but now the last index is 2. That means it's less than by 1. So that means we can subtract 1 from the length and we can get the last index. If it's short or long, it doesn't matter. So now if we say console.log nums last index, it gave me the same result, as you can see. Now, for instance, if we increase like hi, potato 10, what's the last item in here?
It's
What's
10.
It's 10. Did this calculate it? Yeah. Have you seen our function now? No matter what length it has, it's just calculating because it counts the number of items minus 1. So sometimes you should make your function dynamic like this. So it doesn't matter. Once if you make it, it just calculate for any amount. Great. Now just let's remove this.
Mr. Savina?
Yes.
Can we use the pop method to get the last one?
Yes, but not. But it mutate the data. It mutate the data. We will come to that one. You can use pop, but you mutate the data. And we're coming now. What we saw actually accessing array items. As you can see, what am I writing? I am yes. English language is not anymore. Yes, I'm adding new vocabularies to the English language. Okay, so now let's modify items in the array. Okay. So modify means if it's 1, we can change it to 0 or 10 or whatsoever. To modify something, this is what we do actually. First, what value do we want to? Maybe if I want to modify the last word first, let me modify the first one. So I target it by index. Then I give it a new value. Maybe I can change it to 10 or maybe 20 or maybe -5. So let's see, console.log nums.
It's missing us. Yeah.
Have you seen you had this? Now you have this. Have you seen how we? And now you tell me how can I modify the last item? Of course, let's also modify the second one. Okay, now let's change 2 to some number. Tell me, what do you want 2 to be?
Potato.
Oh, yes, everybody loves here potato. Me too. Potato. Of course, print console.log. Now, in this JavaScript lesson, we have the power. It's kind of superpower that changes to a to a potato. Yeah, we did. We managed to mutate, but this mutation, guys, we deliberately mutating the data so it doesn't matter. Now let's change 3 to something else. But now I want you to tell me in a more dynamic way, not static way. So I want to change the last item to be something.
Last index.
Last index, great, last index. And then I will tell it to be this last index replaced. Console.log nums last index replaced, or I can just call it last item, as you can see, or you just change it to maybe 330 or whatever. Yeah. Now we saw modifying or mutation, or yeah, I will comment this out because it modifies the value. So when I do here console.log, I can't see the real number, the value I want. Now let's see other methods. For instance, pop, push. First, let's do the push, and then the pop, and then the shift, and then unshift. Yeah. What is this push? As you may understand from the word itself, we push. We push something to this value. Okay, now nums dot push, and I push one item to this, maybe 4. Now if I see console, console.log and nums, and you will see something 1, 2, 3, 4. I managed to add a new value. Yeah. Okay, so that's what you need to push to add item to. The value from what side? The other side, from the right side. How about if I want to add something from this side? From the beginning, actually, we use unshift. So nums dot unshift, and I want to add from the beginning, maybe -10 or something. And let's console.log nums. Have you seen why I put that? As you can see, for some reason, I use some kind of string, but no need to string. No need to use string. Yeah. So as you can see, unshift help you to put something from the beginning, and push helps you to add something to from the end. And you don't have to remember by heart this, because you type like this: array methods JavaScript JS. Maybe either you go to this, the MDN, Mozilla Development Network. It's actually this the official documentation. Sometimes some of the methods are easy to understand, but the examples is so exhaustive, and sometimes it's not beginner friendly, I could say. But you have 30 days of also JavaScript if you go to the array methods. All are together there. and step by step with elegant examples. Yeah, numbers and fruits. Yes, so easy and very digestible examples. Okay, but I can't deny that this W3 school is so easy also to read. Okay, so easy. And yeah, you can also go here and check whenever you get lost. The point here is you don't have to remember. What you need is there is methods. What methods? Array methods, and search. Google should be your best friend. And if you get also some solution from Stack Overflow is a playground or a place for developers to visit every day. Yes, let's get back here now. What do we have? As you can see, we have 4 at the end. Okay, now let's also just comment this out and let's have the original. How about if I want to remove 1 from the right? I use pop. So nums dot pop. You don't have to pass any parameter, you just pop it out. So it's popped out actually, the value is popped out. If you want to know what is stored here, console.log, just to see what's popped out. Actually, we popped out the value, and you can store this value if you want, but at the same time, it's mutated. So, but I don't like to confuse you too much. Just you do this operation. Whenever you are doing this, 3 is now removed out. What we have is actually 1 and 2. Let's see. Console.log nums. We have 1 and 2. Great. And so you use pop. Yeah.
So if just question as a minute, like if we skip the one we mutate, the array we mutate, pop will we remove the last item from the original array?
Yes.
Okay.
So your original array is not anymore intact. It's modified. It's mutated.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have to do some copy.
Yes. Now, whenever
Okay.
I say guys, you have to just really like understand what I'm saying. This mutate and modify when I say this word. They are very important. If you go for a JavaScript interview and if you don't know what like mutation or something, it's no go. It's no go. That means it shows that you don't know well yet. So I deliberately use this word quite often. If you have seen in the JavaScript or Python lesson, mutate. But now you don't have to understand it very well yet. But at some point I tell you that you should really know what I mean. Like, when do you need to mutate or not? Now, what you should just, we're modifying it. You see it like as it was like this. Now we have 2. It's modified, as you can see. At the first place we had, or the first time we had 3, now we have 2. So that means it's modified. It's not anymore intact. Okay, now how about if we want to remove from the beginning? Nums shift. If you just shift, now we removed, 3 was removed. We have 1 and 2. Again, I shift. That means I removed 1 from this list. What do you expect the value of the nums now? What do you expect? Tell me, guys. So this is removed.
2?
Yeah.
2 and 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only 2, right?
This,
Yeah, because it's got removed. Yeah.
This was removed. You left with this 1. And now at this operation, we remove this 1 and we will be left with only 2. Let's see the result nums. Yes. Yes, you learned push to add something from the right, and shift to add something from the left, pop, pop to remove one item from the right, and shift to remove one item from the left. And now let's see slice. So magical. So slice, actually you can do it to do all this operation in different way. Oh, really? That might be your question. How? But this is how it works. The array, and then slice, then actually index, and the number of items. Even sometimes I forgot the slice, and then I don't like to make a mistake. Slice JS. Maybe even I may tend to go here, and then I just go to read. Not slice start, and then it actually takes 3 parameters. So I go for the slice method returns selected element in an array as a new array. The slice method select. That's not what I want, actually. Start end. Not slice. That's not the one I want to try to splice. Sorry, I'm trying to talk about splice, not slice. Sorry. So I have to search again. Splice. Yes. So because it takes, I know it takes 3 parameters. Yes, this is what I want to know. The first index here, and then how many numbers, how many, and then item of, this is optional. Yes, the last is optional, but the item to be added to the array, item to be added. So let's just put this as in a syntax, and then we just look at this. Okay, what does that mean? Now forget about the pop and everything, because we want to have our original array being intact. Okay, so what's the array we have? Nums dot splice. Did I tell you that the index, what we want to remove? For instance, I want to remove 2. Yeah? What's the index of 2? Tell me.
1.
1. Okay. Starting from 2, how many items do I want to remove? 1 or many?
1.
Just 1, only 2. So that means how many? So it should be just 1. Now, if you check.
Sorry, can you go a little bit slower? I can't follow.
Okay, so let's destroy everything what we have. The plan is actually we're about to use the splice method. Yeah, the splice method has 3 or takes 3 arguments: the index, and how many, and item to be added. So let's take this into consideration. So now this is our original. As you can see, we have here at the top, this is the original array. I have shown you how to remove things from the beginning or the end, right? And I have shown you also how to add something from the beginning or the end, right? But I didn't show you how to insert something or how to remove something from the middle. Did we see that?
No.
No. So Splice can do that. That's why the reason Splice actually behaves like all of them, like it works like a pop if you want. So you can use Splice, you can make a Splice to act as all the methods we saw. So now let's remove one item from the middle, and I want to remove two. Okay, so nums splice. Guys, are you following me up to here before I add anything?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now the plan is to remove 2. What's the index of 2? 0, 1.
1.
1. So I just only remove one item. So I don't like to remove many items. So just 1. Now if you just console.log nums. Oh yeah. Do you think we managed to achieve what we planned to do?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yes, we achieved. We achieved. But how about if instead of 1, how about if we give it 2? That means starting from 2 items.
We will have only 1.
Yes, I am left with 1. So it's okay, but instead, how about if I say add something? Yes, the plan is actually, hey, go add 2, and then from there remove 2 items and then add something. In that place, I added something. So have you seen how Splice works now? I think you notice. This is how it works. So you go to the place where you want, and then you remove. So how about if we don't do something like this? Actually, if you don't pass anything, you just get the value itself. So we didn't touch it, so it's not removed. How about if I put 0? What do you think if I pass 0 here?
It starts from the first item.
And
Did we empty the array?
yeah, we wiped it out. So if you don't, how many times to how many items, that means it feels that you want to start from 0 and you want to remove everything. So we wiped out your array is wiped out. If you really do this in your application, that means you wiped out. Okay, how can we use this actually? For instance, imagine that you have a gallery, a photo gallery, right? Photo 1 and a photo 2 and a photo 3. Imagine you are creating a gallery here, 1, 2, 3, and now you can click and delete this one, click, delete this 2, click, delete this. Yeah, that's how you delete one by one. Yeah, but sometimes no, you don't like to go step by step. Instead, you want to wipe out by click delete all here. So actually, under the hood, this might work. Delete all. Under the hood, you might have this code, delete all. That means the array is wiped out. One use case. Now it might not make sense, but you will see it maybe after the 5th lesson. Yeah, we saw how Splice work. Is it okay if we move on to something else?
Yes.
Yes, we covered array, but when it comes to JavaScript or any programming language, arrays or list plays a great role, and we tend to structure any data to a form of a list or an array. So you need to work on that. As you can see, list of some shopping cart and some countries over here, and you have lots of exercise to work on. And even some of the methods which I didn't recover are here because lists are full of methods. So then I think now it's time to have a break, another 10 minutes break, and we will start again for another topic. Yes, please take a break and have a cup of coffee or tea or anything that can gives you some more energy. Yeah, see you soon, guys, after 10 minutes. Yeah, before we move to another lesson, I would also like to show you the difference between slice and splice, actually. Splice mutate the data. And splice actually is a very good way to copy the data. For instance, if you like to copy nums, copy, and then you can just nums.slice. And if you don't pass any parameter, you can just, but I think let me first show you how it works. Nums.slice. It usually takes starting, and end. So the first is the index where, for instance, if I want to slice out only two slice out, so where is the index of 2? 0, 1. So the starting point will be 1. What's the end? Actually, the end should be 3, 0, 1, 2. And it doesn't include the last index. Then let's print out this. Oh yeah, console.log. What is that? 43. 0.
Is it because you spliced it before?
Oh yeah, thank you so much. You saved my time. Such kind of problem, by the way, just but 0, 1, 2, and I forgot the index of that. It's not 3. So as you can see, 2. Guys, such kind of problem, you don't see it, and you try to find a solution all day long, but such kind of hidden problem, it really takes a long time. So Ralph saved my time, and that's why I was so happy. Have you seen? I managed to slice out just 2. But how about if I want to slice out all? You can just start from 0. Yeah. Or you just leave it empty. So I managed to slice out all. Then, how about if we store this somewhere? Nums, copy. Actually, this way you can copy and store it in a separate variable, and then after that you can modify this. By modifying this, you don't affect this one. Yeah, but sorry guys, I have to say let, because nowadays, yeah, let. Good. How about if I want to slice 1 and 2? Tell me. Nums dot slice 1 and 2. That means I should start from 0 and 0, 1, 2. Yeah, it doesn't include 2. Yes. So just check this, print. 1 and 2. Now you know how to slice out. So the good thing about slice, it doesn't mutate. It doesn't take the original data. It just gives you a new data. How understand this statement when I say it doesn't take the original data, it just return new data? Do you understand what it means, guys?
Yeah.
Great. That's really means quite a lot. Yep. So you're in a very good shape. Yep. And now it's a very good time to go But I think something I didn't show you when we were learning a string. I want you to get back to string a bit, and I want to show you some string data type. Okay, so let's first name. I am a Sabine, of course, and the last name, and then of course I have another last name which is very long, and late country, and it's gonna be Finland, and age, and everybody knows my age, how old I am.
250.
Yeah, 250. Yeah, good guys. So I think this is enough. This is enough information. So I want you to print this out. Nasa Benach Itai is lives in Finland. Helsinki, Finland, maybe. Helsinki. He is 250 years old. So I want you to concatenate this string, and the statement should be something like this. So maybe I taught you how to do, for instance, if I want full name, let full name, first name. Because the reason why I'm a bit faster here, you know this thing, right? So last name, last. You know what this means? Yeah, first name comes from here, last name comes from here, and we want to have a space in between. So this is concatenation, right? We concatenate. So you have the full name here. I want you also to do some variable here, city, and you may call it Helsinki or Espoo, whatever. I live in Espoo, but okay, great. Something I didn't teach you, if you want this the plus operator to concatenate, it's really hard. So this is how I'm going to do it. Full name plus, then plus lives in plus city, and then plus, and then plus country, right? And then actually a plus, and then he is plus the age plus years old. So this is how you should do. Like, it's very tiring. Console.log. Sabina, it lives in Helsinki, Finland. Still, it has some. Yeah, have you seen this? No, this is. It's not a neat code, right? It's very hard. So I want you to learn this string interpolation. String interpolation. Then what you should do, actually, just take this data and put it like this, and again use backtick. Change this value with. So you need this dollar sign followed by curly bracket, and then inject the variable here, full name. Inject it there, and then lives in Helsinki. You replace this one with city, but I forgot the dollar, and then this one again, country, and then I forgot also this one. It's not. I mean, I didn't replace it yet. So age. So let's see. Console. Which do you prefer, this way or this way?
Definitely the dollar.
Yes, this is very intuitive. What you should find is just you use dollar followed by this curly bracket. Inside the curly bracket, you can write or inject data. Actually, even you can do comparison or addition. Yes, what does that mean, addition? We can add numbers, really? Yes, $1 plus 2. As you can see, 3. Can we also multiply? Of course, why not? So in short, we can do anything what we can do with JavaScript inside the curly bracket, but don't exhaustively use it, just do some minor operations. Don't create a function, but you can call a function here, okay? Don't use also loop here. Okay, great. So the point here is string interpolation is very good, and want you, but in the JavaScript, 30 days of JavaScript, it's there quite a lot. Very interesting topic, loops. Oh, wow. Yep. And so before I talk about the loops, guys, what is loops and why we need loops? And guys from a Python group, you should be able to answer this properly.
Others.
What? Okay, what are loops? Why we need them?
To repeat an action.
Yes, to repeat action. Instead of we do repetitive task, something which is tedious, a loop can do for us. For instance, if I want to ask you to write hello world 100 times or 1,000 times, yeah, console.log, hello world 1,000 times. It will be difficult, right? It may take you maybe an hour. Yeah, it could be an hour, even more than that, because an hour, yeah, at least you may, but it's really hard. It's tedious. You don't like to do such kind of a boring task. Yeah, do you? No. So we have this loop. This is how you write a loop, actually. Do you remember last time we used if? Now we use for. It's a for loop. Something like this. I want to comment it out because I may end up with infinite loop. So first, because the live server is running, so I may end up infinite loop. So I might just, until I write the code, I want to comment it out. So this is a for loop, as you can see. You need initialization, and the condition, and then increment or decrement. Okay, so this is the rule. Okay, so if that's the rule, I will just write something here down. If you want to write from 0 to 3, if you want to write something 0 to 3, what's your starting point? 0. Sometimes my questions are so easy and they confuse. Yeah, 0 is your, what is your end point?
3.
3. To go from 0 to 3, by how much do you increment?
By 1.
By 1, every time by 1. So then let's write the code. For, as I told you, initialization, let I is equal to 0. Let's start from I, and I should be 0. And I should be less than or equal to 3. And then I plus plus, that means increase by 1. Or you can, another way, you can say I plus 1. That means adding 1 every time. You can write this way or the other way. I plus plus means adding 1 every time. And then console log I. So now let's remove this and run our code. I'm expecting something. Oh yeah, because we didn't connect our what happened to my eyes? Okay, so I take this to the top, and then again we create script, and it's loops, and I think it seems there are lots of zeros over there. You sure? Why? Oh, I forgot chess. Have you seen now? We got an output. Have you seen the output, guys? You should see. And again, did I tell you that the initial is 0? And we don't want this number more than 3. So I is equal to I less than or equal to 3. And we are incrementing by 1 every time. So if I... Kirsi, you can ask.
Could you share that code in the chat? Thanks.
Okay. Yes. Good. So if you want, but do we have to start all the time from 0? No, we can start from 1 if we want. Yeah. Do we have to increment only by just 1? No, we don't have to. We can increment by 3 if we want. But as you can see, 1 plus, it just ran once because, yeah, but we can make this up to 100 if you want. Now, as you can see, let me show you, the increment is by 3, 1. Next to, the next number will be 1 plus 3, 4, and 7, 10. This is loop, so you need initialization and condition increment. But let's make this again small number, and this also just from 1 to 10. Because this is very important. Do you understand this, guys? You don't have to. If you manage to remember the syntax, it's enough. It has a starting point, and your starting point may vary, and the condition, and also the increment. Now you can also maybe multiply the value if you want. Yes, I multiplied the value. What? Okay. Maybe how about if I'm interested to print some kind of pattern? Maybe you have seen it already in the 30 days of JavaScript, some kind of pattern. Let me show you. How about if I am interested to print 1 times 1 is equal to 1 and 2 times 2 times 2 is equal to 4, something like this. Then to do that, actually, we should use that fancy operator, if you remember, the string interpolation. Then I can do something like this, $i times I. And here you can do again a dollar separately. And then this one, instead of the star, we just do this. After I write it, you will have a chance to look at the code. Yes, it's enough. As you can see, a number comes here, it will be injected, and then the same number comes here, and this will remain the same all the time. And then I multiply the value, by itself, I by itself, and then got something like this. Or maybe you can also change something like this. For instance, if I do, what was this? The power of. Oh no, I forgot my keyboard. Oh, I have to touch all the keyboards. What keyboard am I using? Seriously? Yes, this is what I'm looking for. So, and then you can do this, and it will be very huge number. Yes, yeah, you know this. 1 to the power of 1, 1 to the power of 2, 4, 3 to the power of 3, 27 for the power of 4, 150. Is it 16? 16 by 16, yes. 5 to the power of 5. It's already fast. It's growing so fast. Yeah? Or maybe can... So the previous was something like this. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
Is it the X the same as star?
No, the exit doesn't do any role. It doesn't have any role. This also doesn't have any role. It's there, just a symbol.
Okay.
The role is here. Have you seen? The calculation is here. It's there as a string. For humans, not for coders. Do you understand what it means? Yes, for coders, when they see this, they know it. But for a human, you should, for people who doesn't code, we put this. You don't write it in a, like this, in a, like, for instance, in a text, in a human readable text. So in a code, we usually use this or this. Great. Now this is a for loop in JavaScript. Now let's do some other loop. How about if we want to, for instance, print from 5 to maybe from 3 to 0, the other way. Yeah. What's the, if we want to print from 3 to 0, that means 3, 2, and then 1. What will be my initial point? Tell me, guys.
3.
Yes, great. So let I is equal to 3. And then how could my condition looks like?
So now it needs to be the other way around.
So I
is greater than 3. Sorry, 0.
Yes, and all the time I should be
I minus minus.
Minus minus, or you can also do I minus 1, something like this. Or another shortcut, actually, you can also do minus like this. Yeah, there is 3 ways of doing this. Let me show you. Minus minus, one way. Another way, I minus, or a shortcut, this. Great. Minus minus looks so easy to remember. So let's console.log. Now let's remove the condition, the comment. Yes, 3210. How about if we increment this? Yes, once if you make your function properly to work for every condition, or for small or for big. It doesn't matter. So let's try for 5. You can multiply it by itself again. Or maybe you can also print one of them.
Sorry, could you share that code again, because I didn't manage to make it work.
Yes, I can have both.
Thank you.
Okay, so now even you can do this. Yep. Of course, now it also this one, maybe if you want. What do you think? Shall we move on?
Mr. Sabina, question.
Yes.
I think since we have used the same variable, I have seen the effect of the second I variable on the first for loop.
No, never.
For instance, when you say late I equals 5,
Yeah.
instead for the first example, we start late I1, right?
Yeah.
And it's when you see those two outputs at the same time, the second variable I affects the first one.
No, it will never, because let is a block scope. This I will never go out from this block.
Okay.
Yes. Maybe you are using without let, or you are using var. Guys, if
yeah,
you are
actually,
my student, don't use let. I mean var.
Okay.
Because that's very old.
Okay.
If you get somewhere, and if you know, the best way, if you also learn something from somewhere, try to undo from this lesson, from this class, okay? Don't just stick with the habit or the some of the concepts you gain from somewhere else. So the let is actually a block scope. A scope, we will learn about scope and in another course, in another lesson. So it doesn't go out from this. So that's why I don't change to some other variable. So guys, feel free to use I all the time, okay? So you can use just I all the time. Your I doesn't infect or affect other code outside of this scope. Great. Just to prove that, what has said, let's try to console.log I. Have you seen here? Unquote or reference error. I is not defined. It says I is not defined because in this file, I is not anywhere. It's not available in this file. Where is I? I is actually inside this for loop, and it is block scoped, and it cannot be found outside the block. Have you seen this error? Great. Let's turn, okay, let's turn this on, and I don't need this. Okay, now I want you also to know now while loop. We learned already a for loop. For loop, you use for loop whenever you know the length, how many times you want to do, I mean, how many times to repeat something. While loop also actually do the same thing, but sometimes it allows us to also do when we don't know how many times. If something is just true, it runs. Let's do the syntax of the while loop. So while, and the condition goes here actually, the condition, while the condition, and then do something. For instance, I do something, console.log, print something, and then increment every time here, increment or decrement, actually, increment or decrement. And then we have to start from something. Let count, for instance, count is equal to 0. Yeah, so now let's do this from, let's do a loop from 0 to 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So what's our initial point from here? Guys, tell me.
0.
0. So our initial actually let count 0. Okay. Then we have to write the condition. How long do we like to go? Up to 3. Okay. Then still I will write it inside because then I won't write it inside because it is I will end up with infinite loop. While count is less than or equal to 3. Then console.log count. And then every time I want to increment the count. So what is it 0? Yes. Is 0 less than 3? Yes. Then this code will be executed. It repeats now and then until this condition get false. Now let's get this out and run it. Yeah, maybe I can say count. Yeah. Good. How about do while? Let's do while. It's this do while is you use it rarely. You don't have to. By the way, most of the time you use a for loop. If you know for loop, that's enough. But there is one condition, one assignment in 30 days of JavaScript. Unless you use while loop, it's almost impossible to solve it. So do is actually first do, and check. It's a special kind of, so do, it was like this, okay, do it, and then while, check the condition here. So what we can do actually, we can say let k is equal to 0, because I use count at the top, console.log k, while k is less than, for instance, if I want to loop from 0 to 3, yeah, less than or equal to 3, and every time, okay, plus plus. Let's run this code. As you can see, yeah, okay, 0, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, but you may say, why we need this code if this or this do the same thing? But this code is actually, even when the condition is not right, at least it runs once. Let me show you. Yeah, is 0 less than or equal to 3?
So if you make, for instance, k equal to 3, it will still run once, and then it will exit.
Yes. For instance, if I make 4, have you seen it runs 4? But actually 4 is not less than or equal to 3, is it? No. But this one doesn't. For instance, if I put this one 4, it doesn't run at all. It doesn't run at all. So that is the difference but this is almost somehow the same as this. That is what you need about for loop, but we will come to use also for different purpose. Now I want you to connect things with the const. Maybe, do you remember the difference between const, shopping, and let? Fruits, maybe fruits is too big. Too general, mango, and milk, and some honey. Some milk and some honey and sugar and some coffee. Oh yes, we have at least some products here anyway. We don't have to write this all day long. Okay, so how can I iterate through these values? Yeah, I have to write the comment because I don't like to end up with an infinite loop. So tell me.
Let E equal let I equal 0, I smaller or equal the last index.
That means shopping.
Yo.
Or shopping or dot length plus
I plus, yeah. And console log shopping cut index E.
Yes, I think for the other guys to show them. How many items do we have here, guys?
5.
5. So I can say length. So how do I get the 5 items? Shopping dot
Shopping
length. Oh yeah. So what is the last item in here? The last item actually is length minus 1. So let me show you what we are trying to do. Actually, for let I is equal to 0, I listen, length I plus plus. Okay, I want to run this outside now. As you can see now, I can write console.log and then I. Have you seen I? So I use the links and as you can see, not equal, just listen, because I don't like to include the last item. Yeah. So now you could say console.log and shopping cart, and then every like now and then, like mango, milk, honey, sugar, coffee. Now we don't need this. Okay, so we can even make this code shorter. Instead of writing this separately outside, we don't need the declaration here, and we can replace it with this. Oh yeah, that looks good. Maybe if we asked to change this to uppercase, maybe to uppercase, and now we may have, and we don't need this one maybe. Now maybe if you are asked to filter out the unhealthy food products from here, maybe sugar is unhealthy than others, but it's okay. But we can at least filter by some criteria, right? So, and we can remove some of them. So now we start connecting the dot. As you can see, we use the arrays with the loop. We don't need, this is the, okay. Now maybe if I want you to, I think this, how many lengths, like 1, 5, this 4, and this is also again 5, and this is again, if I want you to find out a product which has only 4 characters. Actually, milk and honey are okay. I can also add meat results. So I know the product is going to be milk and honey. Milk and meat. Tell me. So if, so you can go for
If
this.
shopping counts E dot length
Dot length
equal 4 or 5, yeah, 4.
and then
Console log
log that product.
shopping, yeah.
Now we are not interested anymore in this kind. So as you can see, milk and meat, but as you can see, don't just leave your product like this, but we want to store them. Const new product. So I can push those products to here. Undo. New product, it's a new array. New product. Products. Push. And now I don't need printing out from here. Oh, sorry, I thought I put it here. Let me know. So now console.log. Let's see what we have in the new products. Yeah, milk and meat. So we do some kind of filtering, as you can see. Yeah, we learn some kind of pushing items during the arrays section, and now we managed to use them together. Yes, we can do quite a lot. Maybe we printed out these values from mango to meat, from the beginning to the end. How about if I ask you to do the other way, from meat, coffee, sugar, in the other way? Tell me so fast. Yes, because it's the same as this process, okay? Okay, so you tell me. You tell me, I write the code.
For let.
Or let.
Yeah, I mean the shopping count dot length is -1. The I is equals to, yeah, the shopping count dot length is cart. Yeah, I think it's count, right? Shopping count. Okay. Yeah, shopping count minus. I think we'll have to make it -1, right, to get
-1.
And I greater than it should be I greater than with the shopping cart the array. I think, yeah, greater than 0 and I minus and console log shopping. Is a variable shopping cart or shopping count? Did I do?
It should shopping cart. It should be shopping cart. Unless I miss. Oh.
Yeah, it's
it should be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Such a strange name. Thank you, guys. I didn't see that sometimes. Okay, now let's turn this on. Shopping count is not found. 73. Still something was not changed there. All right, as you can see now, we managed to change meat, coffee, sugar, honey, milk, and mango. The other way around, we managed to reverse it also. This is the comment. You go to a JavaScript interview, reverse this array. So can we reverse this array? The const reverse array. It's just a new array, or maybe just you can call it new array for the time being. And then if you just push them, new array, there just push all of step by step, and then you don't need to print this out. And then now console.log new array. As you can see now, the other way, milk, meat, coffee, sugar, honey. Yeah, the previous was before it was reversed. Let's print it out. Yeah, you can see it's already here. Great, guys. How was it?
Good.
Good.
Yes,
Just,
now how about
transcribing.
what?
I'm a bit slow in typing this last one.
Okay, good. So what I recommend you should really watch this video again slowly with 0.5 pause. Yes, I'm in 0.5 speed, and that will really help. This is the meat and the flesh part of JavaScript now. Okay, great. Now let's move on to the beautiful part of programming, and that's going to be, tell me, guys.
Functions.
Functions. Oh yeah, functions.js. Great. So why we need functions? Why need functions? And what is function itself? What is function?
I think we need function to optimize our code.
Yes, to optimize our code. First, let's define what's a function. Function is actually a block of code or some codes together in some block, and they can solve some task. And I need you to write a function which is independent, or maybe standalone. That function should solve only a single problem. Sometimes we tend to write a function which solves many problems, and it's messy and it's hard to reuse. So a function is actually a collection of codes or a group of codes that can solve a single task. Yeah, that's, I think, my definition. And then why we need, okay, to reuse, to make code reuse. To test, it's easy to code test also if you are in the form of a function. And even easy to read, actually, easy to read. Yeah, so how do we write a function now? Yes, to write a function, you need the keyword function. Why like this? I didn't get it. Why? Function. It should be highlighted. I don't know, for some reason. Yes, it says.
Link.
Hmm?
Maybe need to link in.
Oh no, but it should function. Okay, function name, and then something. Okay, yeah. Okay, this is how you write a function. First, you need the keyword function, followed by some name, your favorite name of a function. It could be something that shows a kind of action, followed by two parentheses, and then again a block code, and your code goes here. Yeah, plenty of codes. Yeah. So, and then to make use of this function, you have to call it or invoke it. So let's just take this one step. Oh, don't do that. And let's create script source, and that's actually functions.js and script. Yeah. Now let's see if it's connected. Just to show it, to check if it's connected, let us check. Oh, no? Yeah, it's there. Okay, but this is not executed yet. Console.log, I am a function, and my name is function name, because I gave it function name. So how do we To see this code, actually, we have to invoke it. I call, for instance, let me check some of my students. If I just call one of my students, like if I say, Ralph, you should say,
Yes.
yeah, yes. Yeah, because I called him. If I didn't call him, you don't hear that voice. So let's just call this function also. Hey, function name. The name is so lame name. Yes, I'm a function, but this function name is not nice. Do something, do something. I am changing it to do something. Okay, now do something. And the function is do something, right? Do something. And let's just also remove this part, and I'm teaching, I call it console. What is that? Console.log. I'm teaching, and what is this? Let's dot. Yeah, do something. It's so beautiful function. Do something, and it prints I am teaching. Yeah. So, but remember, a function should return something instead of just console. Did I tell you that console.log allows us to just check what's happening, to say what we have? Let's instead do something and return a string. And now I want to really tell something very important. As a developer, you guys, you should remember this. Programming, it doesn't matter if it's JavaScript, Java, or Python. It's all about data types, and you store data types and you return data types from a function. Now, actually, I'm returning a string and nothing happened. So I have to print this out, console.log. Yes, now as you can see, I am teaching. So this do something is actually a proper function returning some string. Now let's write another function. Guys, it's a function is like, I think I have to do that doodling again. Oh yes, how was it? Annotation, annotate. Yeah, I can draw something here. Maybe that can help for some people. Yes. Guys, in elementary school, maybe you had the chance to learn something like something very kind of a mission, yeah? And this mission actually is so crazy that it produces some kind of a result, yeah? Something like this. It doesn't matter. So this actually, don't make fun of my drawing skill, guys. KA, and I will have again B. So actually this mission takes two parameters. As you can see, the other parameter, one of the parameters A, and it do some operation here. And the operation is actually A plus B. And then it takes the result out here. So imagine now if this was, no, the problem of this is sometimes I can't. If it was 2, and if it was 3, 2 plus 3. And what do you expect here, guys, from this mission?
The result 5.
Yeah, and what is that?
5.
Yes. You may expect your result will be so 5. So what do you want to call the name of this function? Now let's stop this and let's do more on our base code. Yeah, I may just stop using that. Stop. Okay, good. Now I may want to work on this. Let's do, just forget about this drawing. So function, what name do you want to give for this function? Add two numbers. As you can see now, the name of the function is also actually camel case. So your function should be a camel case. Our first function do something, if you remember, it doesn't take parameter. If it doesn't take a parameter, it's not good. But now let's say A is equal to 2 and B is equal to, and let sum is equal to A plus B and return sum. So as you can see, we have 2 and 3, and we add these guys together, and then we stored at the sum and return. Then if we say console.log, add two numbers, 1 plus 2. Yeah, of course, but actually it doesn't take any parameters. So as you can see, it gave me 5. But this is actually a boring kind of function. And let me also destroy this drawing. And so why it's not taking a parameter? It should really take a parameter, and we don't really need this. And you just A and B, you get as in a parameter, A plus B you return. And now it's easy to, yeah, it gives you 5. And now we can use this block of code by calling the function many times. And 1 plus 99, you know the value, and 10 plus 90, and you know the value, right? 90, because I want to give you a very easy number to sum up. Yes, so function is not as difficult as you expect, right?
Oh, it's okay.
Yes, it's okay. So we call this function. So function declaration, we declare a function like this, but we can also write function a bit differently, by the way, guys. This way we call it a function declaration. So let's comment this out. And how can, I mean, shall we write it differently? Yeah, it's just another way of writing. We can just remove this const and then just like this, another way. As you can see, it works the same. We call this function expression. If you want this way or this way, it doesn't matter. Does it? No. It is just another way. Even now, the recent way of writing, we can even write it in a row function. So even you don't need the keyword, and you just do this with a row. That's why we call it a row function. And you don't have many things inside the code block. So if you don't have anything match going on, so remove this and you can just return explicitly. And this is your function. It's so clean, right? It's just one-liner. If you go for a function, a row function or function expression or function declaration, it doesn't matter. Anyone judge you if you write this way or this way, both are just okay. But there's a minor difference between these two guys and these guys, and I'm not going to talk about that to avoid confusion. Thank you. Okay, good. Now let's also do the same. Yeah, let's write this function differently. Okay. Now, like I can write, let's comment it out that way. And now again, I may write the other version, the function declaration. No, this function declaration, it's better. Function declaration. Function expression, function expression. Arrow function. Yeah. Okay, great. where was I? And I don't have to write all over again. Just remove this. You don't remove, but you can just take it here. Equal sign. This is function expression. And then let's change this to an arrow function. That's so easy even. What do you do? Tell me now. Tell me to remove this, yeah? And the other row here. Okay. Do you think I can do this? Do you think I can write this like this, one-liner? This one? Yes, I can, because this is not important too, because you can do this even here. You can just return it there without the sum. The same now, you have only just one line code, so I will remove that. And good. One-liner. Yes, this beautiful code. Great. Now your task. The name of the function is called make square. And it takes some number and it returns the square of a number. Write this function in in 3 ways. By the way, I didn't see the time, and we're a bit over time. I just look at the time now. Sorry for that, guys. We finish with this line of code, okay? Can you try it?
Yes.
Yes.
Function make square.
Okay. Function make square. Yes. And just in some parameter, it could be some. Then you'll just say that square and then n times n, or you can just do this and you return the square, right? Yeah, but even you don't have to write this way. You can just return this value like this. Even you don't have to have this. Now this is the function expression, the function declaration. Now let's write it with a function expression. You just take this out, but in place there you need const, and this, I forgot here, function. Yeah. And then the last, the function, row function is so beautiful. You remove this and you have one line of code and you don't need to have, and this is where explicitly returning the value, but we didn't check if this worked or not. So console.log make square of 3, yeah, it is 9, make square of 10, if you see, it's 100, and make square of maybe 9 itself, it should be 81, right? Yes, great. Guys, thank you so very much for staying for so long and for attending from the beginning to the end. As usual, you're just awesome, and remember to check the 30 days of Python and let's plan for next week. Yep, great. And we're in a good shape. We will have revision again for what is this? Functions. But next week we will talk about objectives, higher order functions, set and map, destructuring and spreading. Yes, I have to write it here, guys, and then you will have a chance to check. And it's really this week, you should really check what we covered this week, but you don't have to read for next week.
Should we do any exercises?
Hmm?
Should we do any exercises for next week?
Actually, if you go through them, I mean, if you go through this these materials, there are exercises there. So I recommend you guys, for instance, when you go to our when you read conditionals, there are exercises by the end. Of course, it's hard to do all the exercise. Level 3, level 2 are difficult questions, but level 1 are mandatory. Okay, level 1 questions are mandatory, so you should really do all the level 1 exercise in every day's challenge.
So until day 7, or what?
So that means you should do this, this, and this up to day 7. But if you have more time, also have a look at of this 8 and 9, 10, and 11, because the next week I will do this part. And then we will be in a good shape to work on projects. You know, if we just learn this way, learning the syntax, you will not have a chance to connect things together. Now I have to stop the recording not to make it too long.